So you represent one of the largest publicly traded oil and gas companies. So I'd like to start off by getting an understanding of your view on just the general energy sector in Africa at the moment. We've obviously just come out of an interesting time. We've had the pandemic, we've had geopolitical tensions, and yeah, just your views on where we are currently.
Sure, thank you. I think that there's a lot of opportunity in Africa for energy development. We firmly believe at ExxonMobil that access to energy, affordable and reliable energy, eradicates poverty. And so we do see a lot of growth in Africa in the energy sector, and we think that that's helpful and important and critical for future development in Africa.
And tell me, how does ExxonMobil see its role in supporting and accelerating the UN Sustainable Development Goals, and particularly that of access to clean energy for all people?
I mean, I would say fundamentally under the Sustainable Development Goals of the United Nations, number one is eradicating poverty, and what is more important than access to affordable and reliable energy. And we do think that we play an important role in that space, and we will for decades to come. We think that all sources of energy are going to be needed, and that ExxonMobil will be a critical leader in that space.
So talk to us about some of the initiatives that you're driving in that regard.
As an example, in our operations here in Angola, we've been producing for almost 20 years. We started up in November 2003, so we'll celebrate our 20th anniversary later this year. But we have had a relentless focus on reducing our greenhouse gas emissions and our flaring in our offshore operations. So for example, since 2016, we have reduced our flaring by more than 90% and our associated greenhouse gas emissions by more than 70%. And we continue to look to optimize, as we optimize our operation, optimize and reduce our greenhouse gas emissions.
And that's an example of leading by example. Now, another area that I find quite interesting is that you are a woman occupying this role. Not that I particularly find it interesting, but we often have the conversation with regards to getting more women in the energy sector, and that it has proven to be a challenge, with only 20% in the workforce being women, and that number decreasing by 31% as women climb up the corporate ladder. How do you view this? How can we get more women in the sector?
It's something obviously that's very important to me. I think it all starts with education and with young girls, and encouraging them to take math and science and making sure that they understand that they can do anything that the boys can do, and encouraging them along those paths. And then when they enter the workforce, supporting them. So as an example, I have a 12-year-old daughter. I think it's so important for her to see that her mom is the managing director of a major operation in Africa. And just women need to be able to see somebody in the spot to know that they can do it. And I'm so honored to get to be that person for ExxonMobil Angola, and I know there will be more to follow me in the future.